Hi, okay. So today we are going to go through the P&D financial worksheet, and I am going to do this short video to walk you through how to complete the P&D worksheet for our first mediation session. Now, this sheet captures all of your property and all of your debt. This information will be discussed during our mediation sessions, and we will discuss all the details regarding your things. And ultimately, you will reach agreements regarding these items. Likewise, these items will be utilized to complete each spouse's statement of property for the filing process. So this is an important worksheet. And in preparation for the mediation process, I ask you to complete it as much as you can, which gives us a head start in the mediation process. So with that being said, let's get started. Now you will see that each area is broken down by type of asset. So you will see real estate, motor vehicles, bank accounts, household goods, personal goods, cash on hand, etc. These categories are specified separate from each other because they require different information, and they oftentimes have different implications when you are talking about how to divide them, or the value in one bucket is different than the value in another bucket. So let me get started with the real estate section. I will walk through how to complete this section, and we'll move through all the various areas. So for your real estate, you will want to list, and it does not matter for any of your property or any of your debts. It does not matter how it's titled. It does not matter as far as whether or not it's included on this list or not. It doesn't matter if the property was owned prior to the marriage or if it was gifted. Everything needs to be listed. Now, the details regarding it will be captured in your agreements and on your statement of property, but we have to list everything that exists, with the exception of a couple of things, and I'll talk about that. So for real estate, we need to make sure that we enter in this cell here, we need to enter the address of your real estate, which, so let's say 123 Main Street, St. Louis, Missouri, 63123. Okay, so that's how that would be listed. Then underneath that, you would list, if it has a loan on it, you would list the name of the financial institution. Let's say it is with Wells Fargo. Okay, mortgage. If it has a home equity line of credit or a second mortgage, you would say ABC Bank, home equity line of credit, or what type of loan is it that is associated with the house. Okay. In this next section over here in column B, for the home itself, you would not need to list an account number, loan number, VIN number, policy number, or anything like that. But you would indicate the mortgage loan account number or loan number. You will find that on the statement for the real estate mortgage. And you would also look at the home equity line of credit statement, which those things come from the list of documents to be gathered. That's why we gather those documents, to make sure that we have the exact name of the institution, the exact and correct loan number or account number, exactly how the account is titled or the property is titled, all very important for our conversation. And it's also very important for the final documents. So you would say, I don't know, 56798, whatever the loan number is. Okay, the same here. Okay, and then in whose name is this titled? Is the home in both of your names? Is it in one person's name? So maybe you say the home is in joint names, right? It's in both names. Maybe the loan is in one person's name. I have seen that, but let's, for purposes of simplicity, say that everything is owned jointly. Okay. The value of the home. Now, the value of the home, a lot of people will start with an estimated value. A lot of people do not have a most recent appraisal unless they've just refinanced the home within maybe the last 3 months, or maybe they'll insert the purchase price if they purchased the home within the last year. Otherwise, a place where we start, and then we can fine tune the value if we need to. A place to start is oftentimes looking at the estimated home value that from realtor.com or Zillow, or what have other homes in your neighborhood or in the area sold for. It's just an estimate. Obviously, there are ways to fine tune this value before agreements are finalized. So let's say you will put in here the value. Let's say it is 100,000. Okay. Let's say the balance from the most recent statement for the mortgage is, say, 60,000. Okay, you'll put it in as a negative. And then let's say the balance for the home equity line of credit is 10,000. Okay. You will also include here the date of the value or the balance. Okay, so let's say that it is August 31st, 2021. And that is the balance for all of them, okay? Assuming that's the balance. The balance for the mortgage and the HELOC will come from whatever the statement date is that you use to insert the balance for the loans. Or if you looked it up online, then it will be the date that you looked up the balance online. And over here under source, you would say source for the value on the home. Let's just say it is an estimate from online sources, Zillow, Realtor, and any other sources that were utilized. The loans could be from either the statement, if it's a statement, and then online lookup. Okay, you would still provide a copy of the statement, but if the value as of August 31st is from logging into the account and looking at the balance online, then you would say online. Okay, so that is the real estate section. Now for motor vehicles, what you will want to include in motor vehicles is the year, the make, the model of the vehicle. So let's say it is a 2019 Ford Fusion. Okay. And over here will be the VIN number. So VIN, this comes from the title. That's why, or you can find the VIN number on sometimes your vehicle insurance policy. But we always like to collect the title, a copy of the title, because oftentimes we will see that it's titled either in joint names and you don't remember that it's titled in joint names, or it's titled in one person's name and then transfer on death to the other person. We need to talk about if you want to keep it titled that way or if that needs to change. So having a copy of the title is extremely helpful for filling this out, as well as making your agreements. So the VIN number would go here. Let's just say it's 1 CD 54XFY 678. Yeah, they're very long, but that's where that would go. How is this vehicle titled? Again, that would usually come from the actual title itself. So it could, it could be titled joint, or in one person's name. Or it could be, I don't know, husband, POD, wife, right? Or someone else. So you want to include the exact titling that is listed on the title itself. Now the value is often derived from doing a Kelley Blue Book inquiry, and then the Kelley Blue Book value screenshot is uploaded into Dropbox as the document to support the value. Or if it was just purchased, sometimes the purchase value is used as the value to that is included on this worksheet. So let's say that the 2009 Ford Fusion has a Kelley Blue Book value of $15,000. Now, some people will say, well, which value do we use? Do we use the value of private party sale, or do we use the trade-in value? I always advise using the private party sale and using the average of that private party sale. The important part is making sure that the value that is used to value all vehicles and all personal property has the same standard. So if you use the private party sale value for one vehicle, but you use the trade-in value for another vehicle, that isn't really an apples to apples comparison. So keeping the same standard of value is important. Unless the vehicle was just purchased, meaning a short period ago, usually less than a year, then sometimes spouses will decide to utilize the purchase price. We definitely talk about, where does the value come from? Does that feel like a fair value? Is that a value that you both can agree upon? We have to start somewhere, and a good place to start is Kelley Blue Book. So then you would say, okay, I looked that up on 8/31/2021, and that is from Kelley Blue Book, private party sale, and private party sale. So any other, this says motor vehicles, but this is really an area to capture anything that has a title associated with it. So this would also include anything like an RV or a camper or a trailer or a four-wheeler, a side-by-side, dirt bikes, any off-road vehicle would go here. Anything with a title would go here. Okay, about. Okay. Bank accounts. So regardless of whose name is on the bank account or where the funds came from, we have to list all bank accounts, okay? So these bank accounts are things like cash sitting in a bank account. This would include accounts at Bank of America, US Bank, you know, sometimes Capital One 360 savings accounts. Those sort of cash accounts would be listed here. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to list out the institution, Bank of America, checking, and then over here, you will list the last 4 digits of the account number. So the last 4 digits, let's say it's 1234, how is it titled? Let's say wife's name, and the balance when you are, it either comes from the statement, or if you're looking it up online, still ask for copies of statements so that we can make sure that we are titling everything correctly and listing it out correctly. So let's say the balance is 1932.45, and that is of 8/31/2021. Okay, and it might be online. Okay, online lookup. We would list out checking, savings, money market accounts, business bank accounts, all in this bank account section. And I need to go back to the vehicle. So anything with a loan on it, you would list the loan like you did for the house. Okay, so if there's a loan through Ford Credit, right? Let's say there's a loan through Ford Credit. The loan number is 854. That whose name is the loan in? Let's say husband, and the loan amount is, let's say, $6,000. Okay, that's 8/31/2021. You look that balance up online. Okay, so that is how we list out the value of the personal property and the loan on it. Okay, so we've talked about real estate, motor vehicles, and bank accounts. Moving down to household goods and personal goods. And this part, I always recommend we hold off on filling out this part, because most of the time spouses can agree upon how to divide their household goods and personal goods. And if you can reach those agreements yourself, then we do not need to fill out and list out every single household good and personal good that has a value greater than $100. So if we need to list out household goods and personal goods and make agreements in the mediation process regarding those things, then both of you will need to start creating a list of every single household good and personal good that has a value more than $100. And how you value these things, let's leave collectibles out of it. How you would value a sofa or dishes or, silverware, appliances. You would value them based on what someone would buy it for at a garage sale. That is the standard of value for these sort of items. Now, if there is art, collectible art, valuable art, if there are pianos or any other musical instruments, any other collectible, right? There are some things that people collect that are part of their personal goods or household goods, which might require an appraisal. So if both of you can agree on how to divide your things in the house and your personal things, then you don't have to fill this out. And I always say, let's hold off on that for a moment, because that can be very tedious and very time consuming. And if you don't need to do that, then don't. And we can certainly talk about it in our first mediation session and determine if that is needed or if there are just a few things that need to be talked about. So if that needs to be filled out and a list needs to be created, then you would name the item, each individual item or set of items, and you would assign a value to it. Remember, the value would be what you would buy it for at a garage sale. Okay, cash on hand. Does anybody have cash on hand? And if you do, then you list out who has cash on hand, how much cash, and as of what date. Securities. These securities this section covers securities that are not included in retirement accounts. So securities in this section include joint brokerage accounts, or not, it doesn't even have to be joint, but brokerage accounts, meaning an investment account that isn't tied to your retirement. You can access the funds at any age. You're not limited to accessing the funds until 59 and a half. So this would be a brokerage account. It would be a cryptocurrency account. It would be a health savings account. It would be a flexible spending account, whether this flexible spending account is for dependent care or for health care. It would include individual brokerage accounts. Oh, it would include the children's college savings accounts or any other children's investment accounts that you are a custodian of, like an UGMA or an UTMA. Those accounts would be listed here as well. So 529 plans, Coverdell accounts, college Coverdell accounts would go here as well. So what you would include here is the name of the institution. Let's say the institution is Vanguard. Okay, Vanguard brokerage. It's a regular brokerage account and the last 4 digits of the account number. Let's say it's 6547. And how is this account titled? Let's say it's in wife's name. And the value of the account, let's say it is $15,254.65. It doesn't have a loan on it. And let's say that value is as of 8/31/2021, and that is per the statement. Okay. If it's a college account, you would say, let's say it's a Missouri Most 529. Okay. And here you would say, for the benefit of child's name. Okay. The last 4 digits of the account number, let's say it's 2587. And you would say, let's just say husband as custodian. Okay. And let's say the amount in there is $6,258.12. Okay. Oops. Let's say that's as of 8/31/2021. Okay, and that is also per the statement. Then if you have a health savings account, right, HSA, whoops, let's say it is a HSA bank, HSA account, okay? And the last 4 digits of the account number is, and it's in its wife's HSA, and let's say it has $1,097.65. Okay, 8/31/2021 online. Okay, and that is how you would fill out that security section. We need to list out the name of the institution, so who's holding the funds, the type of account, so brokerage, 529 account, HSA account, and then in column B, we need to include the last 4 digits of the account number. Some retirement accounts don't have an account number, but most security accounts do. And then how is the account, who holds the account? Is it one person? Is it both? And what is the value? The value date. So as of what date does this value represent, and where did you get the value from? Okay.